So I'm just going to put this video regarding weights together unedited, so I'm just going to sort of stitch together whatever video footage we took, because there was a few surprises along the way. There was a lot of sort of stopping and starting with the recording, and we were having conversations and things like that, so we probably missed a little bit of information that would have been nice to capture on there. And because there was quite a lot of information, you know, I'm probably wrong on a few things, but I'm not an engineer. I'll just basically stitch it together as it was recorded, and then you can sort of make up your own mind. One thing I will sort of say as a you know, a disclaimer is that my car is not a standard car, and there is a lot more weight on my car back from the rear axle than would be on the standard Sahara. So if you've got a standard Sahara, I suggest you get it weighed and get your own story. I've got a lot of weight in the back of my car, and I'm just thinking the draw system itself. Now, I've had drawers in the last 3 cars and would struggle to be without them, because I think they make what we do very convenient. And I'm tipping the draw system itself probably weighs 80 to 100 kilos. So you know, 270 litres of diesel, 100 kilos of drawers, there's got to be 50 kilos of tools, or probably more, in the back. The roof rack weighs something, the spare tyre hanging, you know, so the spare tyre is, you know, probably 600 or 700 mil further back than it would be on the standard Sahara. And I've got, I think a standard Sahara has 138 litres of fuel, and we're carrying 270, and that long range tank is further back than the standard tank would be. So there's a lot of weight hanging over the back of my axle that wouldn't be on a standard 200 series. So a GVM upgrade on 200 series might be okay, but again, you've got to do your investigations. I probably didn't get the right advice when we did the pre-reg upgrade, you know, and I really don't understand why, because I thought I asked all the right questions. But anyway, so I'll run the video, stitch it together, have a little bit of a chat at the end of the video, and then I'll just leave it up to you guys to make up your own mind. So stay tuned. Okay, today we're going to get the car and the caravan weighed. We've got a company called Way Easy coming to see us in Berwick. So we've just moved the caravan and car out to the parking lot where it's level, and we've got a little bit of room to work with it. So what I can tell you about it, we've got the 200 series Land Cruiser and the new Zone Sojourn, which is a 21'6" off-road composite caravan. So I'll tell you a little bit about the car. The car's had a VM and GCM upgrade from Lovells, and so this is the upgrade is so standard on these 200 series is 3350 is the GVM, and we've bumped that up to 4,000 kilograms, or 4 tonne. And Lovells also have a GCM upgrade, which most of the other suspension upgrades don't have, which is a GCM now of 7,500 kilos. They've also got rear axle increase to 2,100 kilos and front axle to 1,900 kilos. So I just noticed on that tyre thing they've said 7-inch rims, but they're actually 8-inch rims on the Sahara. But anyway, so that's pretty much with the car. You can probably see the size of the Lovells springs in here. One thing I will say about the Lovells 4-tonne GVM, I got this done when the car was new, which is now 3 years ago. It turns a luxury car ride into a go-kart, so just be aware, if you're going to get an upgrade suitable for towing or carrying heavy loads, you're going to lose your luxury car ride. I have spoken to Lovells about what you can do to soften the ride up, and they said that you can put the gas reservoir shocks out of their 4200 upgrade into the car, but that's a $5 grand exercise. So It costs $6 to get the 4-ton GVM. Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to spend another $5 to soften the ride a bit. Like, as long as you've got the weight in it, that's pretty good. But if you're empty and you go 4-wheel driving, it's like riding a go-kart. But anyway, so currently I've got a 270 litre Brown Davis long range tank in here, which that's full at the moment, so there's 270 litres or 270 kilos of liquid weight there. I've got the 2 jerry cans that we don't fill these very often, but if we're going somewhere that's way off grid and not near water, we will fill them up. And then occasionally if we're near a town, we might do a trip into town and fill up with those. So again, we've got 40 litres or 40 kilos of liquid weight. The rubbish bag, nothing in it. When there is stuff in it, it doesn't weigh much. The van itself, so toolbox on the front, little telescopic ladder. I'd say that telescopic ladder weighs less than 10 kilos. I just keep the water hoses and generally have the waste hose in here. That little can up the top there is not normally there. I've just borrowed that off somebody to fill the heater tank up. The toolbox on this side just has the 2 4.5 kilo gas bottles. They're both full at the moment. Those leads normally don't live in there, but we've just moved the van from the caravan park to here, so I've just chucked them in there while we're messing around. Blocked on this side, so I'll show you from the other side, but most of what's in the tunnel boot's lightweight stuff. The van itself has 3 water tanks. They're 90 litre tanks, so they're all full at the moment, so it's 270 kilos of liquid weight there. The tear weight on this van is 27.96 with all the options that we put on it, which includes a 3 200 amp hour lithium batteries. There's 7 solar panels up on the roof. They're glass solar panels, so there's a bit of weight in them. We've got the Starlink up the top, which weighs next to nothing. Bike rack on the back, that's just a new addition. We haven't actually been able to load the bikes on it yet because they're in getting serviced. And I'm thinking I'll ask the guy when he gets here about weighing it, but I think we might be able to transfer the water cans from the back of the car and just sit them on this, and I reckon that'll be pretty close to the same weight as the bikes. The bikes with the batteries in them are 25 kilos each. The batteries normally don't travel in the bikes, they normally travel in the front tunnel boot. And I think that's it for weight on the van. Inside we just got the normal stuff. So our intention is to weigh this fully loaded, so when we're ready to hit the road, do a big trip, this is what's going to be involved. The only thing extra we might have is a slab of water or a slab of beer, and occasionally we put a bit of timber on top of the toolbox, but that'll only be there short distances. We generally pick it up just before we get to a campsite and don't normally cart it with us. And lately we've just been buying the bags of timber from Bunnings or Mitre 10. It's already cut up, it's $15 a bag, and it'll get you going for a night or two. So the chap that's weighing it will be here in about 10 or 20 minutes, so I'll ask him if he doesn't mind us videoing a bit of what he's doing, and we'll see what the end result is. So stay tuned. Right, so we just put the car up on the scales for the first part of this exercise, so Lee from Way Easy has said it's okay to film a bit of stuff, so we'll do that. So he's going to weigh the car with the van attached and us in the front, full of gear, full of fuel, full of water. We put the 2 40 litre jerry cans on the bike rack to compensate for the bikes not being there.
So this is the bit that I really hate.
Yeah. That's the...
You're well over.
Well over here. So what are we at? 4 total weight?
Say 12 over the car,
12
but that
over,
rear
yeah.
axle.
Yeah. What's the rear axle at?
24.90.
24.90. So we're 390 kilos over on the rear axle.
Yeah.
I can't lose that much weight.
That's big, eh? That's big.
And I'm not surprised. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. Yeah. Well, there you go. So 4-ton GVM's not big enough.
No.
Mm,
No, it's your axle load's really the issue.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
lose 100 kilos in the car easy,
Yeah,
just through fuel.
yeah.
Like you
Just
not feel
fuel, yeah.
that. But it's that rear axle.
Rear axle light, yeah. There you go. No,
And really, the only thing you can do with that, I believe, is a J-Max axle.
yeah, well, Lovell's have got a 4200 upgrade that includes a, I think it is a J-Max axle, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It'd be about 20 grand though, wouldn't it?
I don't know, didn't look into that. So. We'll see, there you go.
Mm.
Let's keep going. So what other bad news we got?
So what we do next, we disconnect the van, weigh the car again, and see where we're at with just the car only.
Yeah, okay, cool. So this is...
So this will be, you'll be surprised here, the rear axle's already at 2061.
Okay, so there's a lot of weight in front of that van.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And you can imagine the effect if you didn't have the bull bar winch on the front.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that's... So without the van we're okay. But, with the van we're nearly 400 kilos over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the problem with this particular type of van is that all the storage is up the front. So there's no storage room down the back of the van at all.
Yeah.
And we've got the bike rack on the back too, so it'll be taking a little bit off the front.
Yeah.
Right?
And when we haven't looked at where your tanks are.
Yeah. Well, I've got the 3 tanks full at the moment. So, you know, I mean, if you empty the front tank
So 2 of those are forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Yeah.
But we might do that as the exercise too. We might empty a couple of tanks and see what happens. Yeah. Keep going, eh?
Do that now.
Oh, we'll keep going. Do whatever.
No, we'll get your weight of your van with the tanks full and then empty.
And then we'll do it empty. So we've got to hook the van up
So
again.
hook up again.
Now he's just gonna move up onto the plates so that they can weigh the van. Oh, up.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah. So now we're weighing it connected to the car and see what we're at.
So that's the GTM.
Yeah.
3384. So when we add the tow ball to that, that'll give you the ATM, and we're going to be over.
Yeah. So what are we at? We're
looking like we're over on the ATM.
Yeah, so the ATM is the aggregate trailer mass. So that's the 2 combined. Is that right? The car and the caravan.
No,
combined?
that's just the caravan itself.
Oh, just the caravan itself. Yeah.
So the ATM plus the car.
Yeah.
And then less the tow ball, because the ATM includes the tow ball.
Yep. Okay.
But it looks like you're going to be over on the GCM as well.
So how much are we over by?
Well, let's have a look.
Let's have a look. Cool.
Cool breeze. Just
Hey,
come
dog.
through.
So what's your weight?
I'm just about to find out. Too much. Too much.
Too much?
Yeah.
Don't they all?
You getting yours weighed? No, you don't want to know.
We want to know.
What's on your back axle?
20 with the van on, nearly 2400 with the van on. Yeah, yeah, because I got
You've had an upgrade.
I got a 2700 litre diesel tank. It's filled full, and we've got a lot of tools in the back and stuff like that.
The upgrade to get that?
Yeah, the upgrade's 2100, so it's still 300 over.
Shit.
Yeah, so
Just under on your GCM.
just under in the GCM. So it's in the GCM 735. Yeah.
And that's what we are at.
So we got what's that, 104.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, so we only got 104 kilos to spare.
We thought we were
That's the
together,
GCM.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come pick you up.
So
No, we just, of course,
So
for
we-
peace of mind, so like we know what we should
are we going to
do.
change that much by
Because we do
moving
a lot
weight
of
around?
traveling.
Or?
No.
No. Well, because we go up north and everything.
With a public way.
Tow ball's
We've
273.
been there
Yeah.
with the car before.
So
and the
tables
car
too.
was
So
driving-
actually, so there hasn't gone much weight gone onto the table because empty weight on the table was 196.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot. So given that all the weight in the van's on the front, that's not
So
a
yeah.
big. Yeah.
The ATM is 3657.
Yeah.
So 160 over.
160 over on the ATM. So we've got 270 litres of water in there at the moment.
Yep.
So we empty 1.5 water tanks. We're back down to the limit, aren't
It's a
we?
limit, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've
So
got
your big issue is your rear axle.
yeah. So rear axle, I've got 270 litres of fuel there. So I take 100 litres of fuel out of it to start with.
You've got about 400.
And then I've got 100 kilos of tools in there. So we'll take some of the tools out and put them in the caravan.
Put them in the back bumper.
You can't because you're over.
You can't because we're over, so yeah. So I've got to get rid of 400 kilos. That's going to be a big job, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
Like you say, could put the spare
you on
wheel.
the diet?
Well, I leave the missus at home.
400 plus.
That's the thing, you don't have to get rid of 400. You
I'll
have to
lose a
move
bit.
it.
You got to move it,
Axle.
yeah.
Or you leave it there and upgrade the axle.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
if you didn't have that bull bar on the front, that 400 would be
even
500.
more, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So a weight distribution hitch would transfer some, but it's not going to get
Not
rid of.
going to get through the 300.
No.
So the spare wheel hanging out the back is going to be a big contributor to it,
So
isn't it?
if that spare wheel weighs, let's say 50,
Yeah,
it's probably affecting your axle by 80.
yeah. So if that spare wheel was up on the roof at the front,
Yep.
that'd help.
That'd help, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like an old Land Rover, put it on the front.
Straight to the bonnet.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
already got some on your back bumper, I presume.
Yeah, there's one on the back bumper. Yeah. So,
Run
yeah.
over the kangaroos.
So really,
So in my opinion, you don't want to take much more weight off the van.
because it's light enough on the
It's
front
light
already.
enough as it
Yeah,
is,
yeah. And
Your problem with loading your truck rather than in your van, is it?
yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the truck, you know. So like so, 270 litres of diesel in the truck. I'll have to take the tools out and weigh them, but I'm tipping there's 100 kilos of tools in there because I've got power tools, got spanners and wrenches and spare parts and all that sort of stuff. So there's a fair bit in there. I've got the middle passenger seat in could come out. That probably weighs 30 kilos. Car fridge could leave it at home. That full of beer, that's 30 kilos. I reckon. So,
That's what I had to do with my patrol,
Unless
mate.
it's-
I had to chuck out the fridge, chuck out the this,
Yeah.
chuck out
Unless
the
that weight's directly on the axle, it's not having that full effect.
Not
So if
having
you've got
big
a
effect.
50 kilo weight on the axle, you take it out, you've saved 50.
yeah,
But you just said 35 the back seat, so that's not affecting the axle by 35, it's affecting
maybe
by 5.
five. Yeah, okay. So moving it from the back of the car to the middle of the car,
It's not going to have
not going to
much.
make a big difference.
No, I think 400's a lot,
It's a lot of weight, isn't it? Yeah.
because we're fudging the numbers now. It's,
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, well, that's interesting. So that's so a 4,000 kilo upgrade. If you're towing a 21-foot off-road van, is not enough. You need to be 4.2 or 4.495. Yeah, probably 4.495. That's if you want to continue to drive a Land Cruiser.
But still, it's the axle, because you're only
Yeah.
15 kilo over GBM.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
The axle's
the
the
axle's the real weight. Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, so a J-Mac rear axle's 20 grand.
Oh, I think the 8 plus fitting,
Yeah. So, yeah.
but then you need the engineering,
Yeah.
and I think they provide that too.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So we'll have to.
I got two mates like that, which upgrades on the GVM on the
Yeah.
Land Cruisers, and
Yeah.
they're struggling still.
Yeah, it's still not enough yet. Yeah, and the other thing about a 4-ton GVM, it turns the ride into a go-kart. So you turn a luxury car ride into a go-kart. It's like riding a pogo stick. Yeah, it is. It's like bang, 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 bang. So all right on the black top, but you get off road, it's a pretty uncomfortable ride. Takes the enjoyment out of 4-wheel driving. So yeah, interesting. We'll have to look at our options.
Wait
Oh,
for
you
the
didn't.
report.
You know what you
Yeah.
didn't do? You didn't put the water thingies back.
Oh, that'd just make more weight on the car. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
did you have them there when you were just weighing
No.
the car?
No.
So that's worse.
Yeah, but they're hardly ever there. And like you wouldn't have, like you'd fill them up when you're driving
Yeah,
from
stay
camp to
somewhere
town or
else.
somewhere, you know. But that's interesting. We'll wait for the report from Lee
Well,
and
let's do the jockey wheel now, and then
see, have a look at it and
keep going.
keep going. So with the bikes on the back, or our pseudo bikes on the back, the tow ball weight's only 264 kilos, so we're going to take the bikes off and see what it comes to.
So, taking the water off.
So this weighs 20 kilos too.
All right.
What's the weight now, Luke? 3,588.
Taking what'd you take on?
The bike rack and the box.
Don't trade them in on e-bikes, will you?
We've got e-bikes.
Okay, say no more.
We had the water on instead of the box.
You've been really
The
looking
water's
for trouble,
probably-
haven't you?
8. So what if you did drop 60?
Dropped 60 kilos.
Basically 2 e-bikes because they're about 30 each.
Yeah. So 2 e-bikes, that was the rack and the box. So that's 60 kilos. Yeah. So, and then that puts the tow ball weight up
Yeah, 305.
305. So, is it?
It's on.
It's on.
It's taken 40
Yes.
off the table.
Yeah.
Or added 40.
So taking the e-bikes off the back of the van has dropped the tow ball, or raised the tow ball weight to 305, and changed the ATM to
3588
3588.
from 3648, so it's
Yeah.
60 kilo difference.
So 60 kilos. So the e-bikes look like the e-bikes are staying at home.
So 60 kilos off the rear bumper has added 40 kilos to the table.
Yeah. So
So what happens if you put it on the front?
Well, then he added to the front, which adds it to the
So it's still no good.
adds it to the axle weight. So the biggest issue is this rear axle. You know, so we really only have to
So
lose.
you almost need them
Yeah,
because you're affecting axle.
making the axle
Negatively
heavier again.
more.
Yeah. So you can't win, can you?
No, that'll be lifting.
Yeah. So the bikes on the back of the caravan have two effects. They lift the back of the car, which reduces the axle weight problem, but it increases the overall weight by 60 kilos, and it lightens the tow ball weight, so we're well under the 10% tow ball weight. So
You're damned if you're doing it.
yeah. This is a friggin' nightmare because, like, you know, and seriously, if you buy one of the big American trucks, well, for a start, you're looking at 130 grand for an empty truck, and that's
Still won't
you
do
know,
the job.
and still won't do the job. So you still got to spend money on that. So you might as well buy one of those.
Cruiser's 130.
Yeah. So you might as well buy a light truck. You get like a
There's
Fuji
a lot of people,
7.5 ton light truck.
Yeah, you get a Susan with it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Anyway.
Getting a new car.
So anyway, we shall. Pretty hard to justify a light truck for a real estate agent though. So, anyway, we'll see. All right, so that's as we recorded it. So the leave from Easy Way or Way Easy was very informative. Explained things as he went along. Was happy to answer questions. He's not here to sort of to judge. He's just here to tell you what the facts are. So we've got the facts now. We'll have to deal with that. We'll have to do some investigating, see what their options are. The reality is we normally wouldn't have full tank of fuel and 3 full tanks of water. That's one thing straight off the back, but that still won't solve our rear axle weight issue or load issue. So as you can see from that report, fully loaded, that rear axle is over by almost 400 kilos. You lose 100 kilos of fuel, and let's say 200 kilos of water. That'll make some difference on the rear axle. It's a bit of a minefield because fully loaded, the weight on the tow ball is actually a little light. So having that rear water tank full and having the bikes hanging off the back is taking too much weight off the tow ball, but if you don't have it there, it's putting more weight on that rear axle. So so we really got to look into it a little bit further. We got to get some better advice than what we've had to date. I really like the Sahara as a car. I love driving it. I happily sit in that car and drive it for 4 or 5 hours at a time. So I really don't want to change the car. Initial investigations into a JMac rear axle is that they are rated at 2750, which would solve the problem, but then I don't know what that's going to do to the GVM and GCM, and because we've got a 7.5 tonne pre-reg GCM, I think if we get it re-engineered now post-rego, I think we'll lose that GCM. So again, got to investigate that. So anyway, we'll see what we can learn, and then we'll share that with you guys too. So yeah, so I was surprised. Like, I mean, you know, I thought I was doing the right thing, getting an upgrade before we registered the car. So I've taken the GVM of the standard car from 3350 up to 4 tonne, and I've taken the GCM. I think the GCM of those is, I think, 6.6, might be 6.3. So I've upped that to 7.5. So I thought doing the right thing. But this is a big van, empty, 2796, and full of water and gear. It came in at, what did he say, it was 35 something. So it was over the 3500. So probably should have got the 4500 upgrade. Now, according to the guys at Zone, the chassis is already engineered for 4500. The axle group is already engineered for 4500. So really it's just a matter of changing the DO35 to DO45, but they're going to sting you for engineering and stuff like that too. And I think from memory they said that was about a $3,000 upgrade, which sounds a little preposterous, but anyway, we'll investigate that as well. So we'll keep you in the loop. Thanks for watching. So I have attached screenshots of the report for your information.